Alright then guys, how's it going? It's Chris Bradley here. I'm the race director for Sunday's Chiltern Half Marathon. I'm going to do the race briefing now on this video. If you're new to our events, we've started doing all the race briefings via video beforehand, just to give you all the time you need to sort of digest stuff and prepare for the race. There's going to be a very short briefing on race day itself, but it will just be a couple of minutes just to go over any changes and sort of the just crucial safety information. So yeah, welcome, thanks for coming along. It's the 4th Chiltern Ridge Half Marathon. This is the second time we've run the route from Wendover out along the Ridgeway to Whiteleaf Hill and back. It's a beautiful finish line up on Coombe Hill and the weather is looking fantastic, so should be a great day. I'm just going to go over some really basic things. I'll try and keep it pretty quick. All of the resources for the race is on the website, so I'll put a link to that in the description and on the screen. So if you're looking for things like GPS files or information about where aid stations are or how to get there, things like that, that is all available on the website. Maybe just to kick off, so we have changed the start time by 15 minutes, so it was previously 10 o'clock, it's now 10:15, and this is due to a train cancellation. So the earliest train now getting into Wendover leaves London at 8:57 and arrives at 9:45, so we're just pushing it back 15 minutes to allow for those that are coming via train to just have a little bit more time to get registered and walk up to the start with everyone else. So do note that. There's not really much changing in terms of the other timing, so registration is going to be from 8:45 up until 9:55. I'm going to do that very short briefing at 10, and then about 10 past 10, we are all going to walk as a group from the Shoulder of Mutton pub where registration is, about 400 metres up the road to where the start is. And it's really important that everyone is sort of around at about, let's say 10 past 10 to do that as a group, because once we all start walking and once we're all congregated at the start line, we're going to go start the race pretty quickly and we don't want anyone left behind. So we'll all do that together. There is one road crossing that we have to cross to get there, and that's why we're doing the walk up there rather than running. So we'll just make sure you get over there safely. And do be aware that the first sort of 2 kilometres is uphill. It's not continuously very, very steep, but there are steep sections, and if you're completely cold, it's going to be a bit of a surprise. So I would recommend getting those hips warmed up and, you know, doing a few drills if you can in the sort of half an hour before you race. Registration is at the Shoulder of Mutton pub, and therefore, so if we cover people getting there, where you're going to park and things like that. So there are, and I'll put these on the screen while I'm talking and kind of show you, but there are 3 main car parks. Now the easiest one and the biggest one is Wendover train station, and that does have a cost of, I think it's £6 for the entire day. Now if you want an easy morning, get yourself to the train station, pay for the parking, and it is a walkover less than 5 minutes to the Shoulder of Mutton pub, and then you're there and you're ready. If you would prefer to find some free car parking, the library car park on Wendover High Street has free car parking, and that's, you know, it's not much further at all. It's maybe 5 or 6, 7 minutes walk to the pub from there, so that's free parking, but it is a bit smaller. And then there is the car park at the cricket ground, which is called the Witchell Pavilion car park. It does have a height restriction, so no big vehicles in there, but there are, you know, there's room probably for 40 or 50 cars in there. And again, that's a little bit further. It's probably more of a 10-minute walk, but that's free as well. So please do your research and work out where to park. There is absolutely no parking whatsoever at the pub. They are letting us use the section of their car park for registration, but then as we go and the pub opens, that will be used for their customers. So you definitely can't park there. If anyone tries, we'll just turn you away. Toilets, so if you're parking at the train station, there are toilets on the train station platform and there's no barriers to get through, so that's one place you can go. We're going to have 2 portaloos next to registration. The pub will also be open because they do breakfast, and there are obviously toilets in the pub, but we don't want loads of people going in. But I think they are doing coffee and things like that, so you could easily go get a coffee, sit down, you can use the toilet in there as well. And then there is also toilets at the library car park, so if you're parking in that car park, I would use those toilets before heading over to registration. That way, if we can sort of spread the use of toilets rather than everyone using just the 2 we've got in the car park, that'll make it, you know, quicker and easier for everyone. It's really, we don't want to hire too many in for this event because you've got the station toilets and the free toilets, but also, you know, we're only at that registration point for about an hour and then we're all gone. So yeah, do sort of plan that. Like if you're getting the train, so yeah, for train travellers, you're going to be arriving at 9:45. Plan to go to the toilet on the train or at the station before, or you know, when you're arriving in Wendover. Obviously if you need to go, but it's going to be quite tight for you guys for the start, so try and be as prepared as possible on the train. We're going to have, for the train travellers at 9:45, we're going to have a marshal actually meet you outside of Wendover train station, and that person will then just walk you over to registration, get you registered and get you kind of, you know, set up so you know exactly where to go and what you're doing, and kind of fast track that. Please do check the trains before you travel, because who knows what can happen between now and then. If there are big problems, then you can get the train much earlier into Tring station, but then you will need a taxi from Tring station. So if you'd prefer to be there in a lot of time, you could organise your journey to Tring, get a taxi booked, and then that's you sorted. But yeah, let me know if you need any have any questions about all of that. The route is a out and back on the Ridgeway, but with a kind of extended loop at Whiteleaf Hill Nature Reserve. So what you'll all be doing is you'll be going along the Ridgeway for 6 kilometres, then you hit our first checkpoint, checkpoint 1. That is at the Plough, which is a pub, and then from there you will be doing a about 9.5 kilometre loop around Whiteleaf Hill. Then you get back to the pub, and that's where you pass the same checkpoint for the second time, and then you go back along the Ridgeway for about 4 kilometres. You don't go all the way back to where you started, you peel off over to Coombe Hill where the finish is. So it is pretty much exactly 21.2 kilometres, maybe about 100 metres over, just to make sure we get the distance. It's always not always entirely accurate with trail races based on the GPS signal you'll get, so we have marked it out and it is over the half marathon distance. So if your watch doesn't say that at the end, please be kind to us. About 500 odd metres of elevation. There are plenty of hills. Please be prepared for those hills, particularly after the checkpoint, the first checkpoint. You've got a nice big climb up to Whiteleaf Hill, but it kind of undulates the whole way. So hill climbing is definitely on the menu for this race. Navigation. So how are you going to get around? Most of you will be familiar, a lot of you have done our races before, will be familiar with the signage we use, and for our half marathons we do try and use the larger signage. So these are A4 arrows, so they've got an orange background and a white arrow, so we'll use predominantly most of these bigger signs. We do also have slightly smaller size, these are half the size, so you may see some of these as well. So these are orange arrows, say route marker on them. And then there will be on occasions the bigger kind of turn left, turn right signs based on areas where it's pretty tight. So those are your 3 types of actual signs. There are also going to be these kind of orange ribbons, but these are kind of secondary navigation. So the signs are going to be your primary nav, and then these are going to be kind of to join up the dots, if you like, on the longer straights. You may see a couple of other signs, so there may be a sign that says wrong way, and that means that you shouldn't go down that way. That's pretty obvious. And there may also be some hazard signs just in front of road crossings. And there is one major road crossing that you really need to be careful with, and that is just before the checkpoint and just after the checkpoint. The trail comes pretty abruptly out onto the road, so we've got a marshal station on both sides of that road, and they'll just be stopping you and letting you go based on when the traffic's clear. So we'll just be super careful with that, because yeah, it's a bit of a nasty bend, to be honest, and we don't want to take any risks. So you may well have to stop for a couple of seconds, just wait for some cars. And there's not really any other major kind of roads. You do run along a few little lanes here and there, kind of connecting up the Ridgeway, but they're very wide and quiet, and they won't cause any kind of safety issues. We do have about 8 or 9 marshals along the course, so you will see them in places that it's a bit more dangerous. There is going to be some medical support at the checkpoint, so if you have any injuries you can get some help there. And if you do need to drop out of the race, please try and do it at that checkpoint. So the checkpoint in terms of distance is 6 kilometres and 16.5 kilometres. Sorry, I think that's 6.5 and 16. Sorry. So yeah, they're nice distances apart, and if you don't want to carry on, just let us know at that point, and we can do something there. There is an emergency phone number that you can use if you get lost or something happens on the trail. So yeah, that's on your bib. I'll put it on the screen now. That goes straight to me, and I can sort anything out. I can get medical teams out. But yeah, please try, and if you can, get to a marshal or get to a checkpoint or the start finish if something goes wrong or you need anything. The aid station will have water, it will have gels, it will have Coke, and it'll have a few sweets and things like that. Please do carry some water with you, and bring, if you have one, please bring a bottle or soft cup so you can kind of take drink from the aid station. We always do bring a few plastic cups, but we don't have many, and we really want to reduce that. Obviously, if you really need a glass of water and you don't have anything, we will give you one, but you know, we really want to reduce the waste and just try and keep that at zero, to be honest. So please bring something if you can. Yeah, there'll be plenty of things there. So yeah, there'll be plenty of gels. They're from Mountain Fuel. They're really nice, and yeah, all sorts of sort of other sugary things as well. Conditions underfoot, you're kind of looking at, you know, very dry conditions in general because it has been pretty warm, but especially some of the areas where it's shaded, it does keep the ground quite soft all year round, regardless of how hot it is, and particularly in Whiteleaf, you might hit a puddle or two still every now and again. Even for the dry parts, I would recommend trail running shoes because it is uneven. There's lots of tree roots and things like that. So wear something that you're comfortable with, that you can, you know, got the stability in your ankles and things like that. And you know, the other mandatory kit in terms of what you need to carry. So yeah, trail shoes I'd recommend. I'd recommend bringing that soft cup, but also please carry your phone with you because although it is a short course and a lot of you know you're going to be maybe doing it under 2 hours, you're not going to be out there for long, you never know what's going to happen and you may need to call someone and get some help. So please bring your phone with you so you can do that and save our emergency number to it. Obviously there's going to be plenty of other people using the trail. There might be mountain bikers, there might be horse riders, there's going to be plenty of other runners and walkers. Please be really nice to them. When you get back to the finish, that's at Coombe Hill. It's always quite busy up on Coombe Hill. It will be quite buzzy, which is nice, especially if the sun's out. Feel free to invite your kind of friends and family, and spectators are very welcome up there. They can park at the Coombe Hill car park, but do be warned, it does get pretty busy. So people have been turned up there and not been able to park before. So if you want to kind of guarantee it, it might be worth parking in Wendover and walking up. Certainly earlier in the day, it's always much clearer at that car park. As it gets kind of after lunch, it will get a bit busier. We're going to be doing a few awards, so if you finish in the top 3, male or female, or you are the top in your age category, and that age categories we do for this race are V40, so 40 to 49, and V50 plus, so 50 plus. We have a couple of awards. We will, once the kind of majority of runners are through, we will do a little award ceremony, and we've got a few gifts and things like that. We do not have toilets or refreshments at the finish line. So when you have finished, you're on the top of Coombe Hill and it's about a 15-minute walk back to Wendover. The portaloos will still be at the registration area and the public toilets and things like that, but you won't have access to a toilet immediately at the finish. So do bear that in mind. You will be getting a alcohol-free beer courtesy of Athletic Brewing. You can see them next to me. We've got loads of them and they will be on ice, and we'll also have water available at the finish, and we will have some Tribe bars as well. So you will have a little bit of nutrition just to keep you going if you want to stay and hang around and kind of clap in the other runners. Top stuff. The last thing to say is, you know, I went through all of this signage, so just to recap, you know, you're following signs like this, but it's a trail race. You can easily take a wrong turn. You know, there are lefts and rights everywhere, and in my opinion, If you can, it is so worthwhile getting the route uploaded to your watch and having that breadcrumb feature enabled so that you can quickly glance at your watch and see if you're on the right route. If you can't do that, then we've got links to the route as well, just as a raw GPS file. You can put that on any app that you use for navigation. We've already uploaded it to Garmin, so if you have a Garmin watch, then you can just download it straight from there. If you use the OS Maps app, we've uploaded it to there, and there is also a Google Maps version, so you can just click on that and you can save that to your Google Maps app on your phone. So please have that. We very much doubt you'll need to use it because it's going to be very thoroughly marked, marshals in all the key places, but you never know what's going to happen, so plan for the worst and hope for the best, and that will get you into a very good place. So that's all to say, guys. Thanks very much for listening. Really look forward to seeing you Sunday. Let's hope the weather stays really nice as it's planned to, and it's going to be a great day. So we'll see you down there.